What's up, Honors World? It is me, just me, Coach Hall. Going to talk to you today about chapters 38 and 39 in A Thousand Spinning Suns. This is the back part of your new questions you received yesterday. You were given 38, 39, and 40. And then this morning I posted chapters 41 and 42. So I believe that puts us somewhere around 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So we're in about 8 chapters a week. So make sure you get those questions in for those 8 chapters, and your points will go up in regards to your average. If you don't turn it in, you don't turn it in. If you're late with it, you're late with it. But remember, at this point, any points are better than no points. And especially speaking to you guys that are at like 76 or 88, those averages are to the point now where you can jump up a letter grade. Honestly, given the situation we're in right now, there's no reason to make a C. I mean, I don't want to make anyone feel bad, but there's no reason to make a C. And it's an honors class, so it would be nice for it to show on your transcript that you scored an A or a B in an honors class. You'll very likely never get this opportunity in your academic life. You'll never get this opportunity again to where, like, hey, whatever you turn in, it's going to increase your average, and your average can't go down. I mean, how nice would it be if school always worked that way? It's like, I'll do this and I'll do a little bit of it and I'll watch my average go up a few points, but if I miss all the questions, then it may stay the same, but it won't go down. That's a good opportunity for those of you to stick with it. So hopefully you are at least to 1,000 Spinning Suns. Where we'll be after this book, I'm thinking about doing a graphic novel with you guys, but honestly, we're not finishing this book until maybe the end of next week or the first part of that following week. So whatever we do together that last week or 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, it'll be probably pretty short. And I'm going to try to make it interesting as far as the graphic novel goes. I think that's kind of what I want to do. So some good stuff ahead and some good opportunities for your average to increase. That being said, let's get into it. This is chapter 38. Not a lot here. Just a couple of things I want to draw your attention to. Rashid, the Taliban is, of course, exactly... Here's the problem with the Taliban is they hated the Soviets because the Soviets came in and enforced their beliefs, their communist beliefs, onto the people of Afghanistan. And that absolute power that they had corrupted them. That's what happened. That was the problem with the Soviet Union. It was corrupt because absolute power corrupts absolutely. It has an absolute way of corrupting, a thorough and complete way of corrupting. Is that's what happens when you have too much power. Okay, that's why checks and balances exist. Well, here's the problem. The Taliban came in, and like we talked about yesterday, maybe had the best of intentions. Okay, again, that's putting it nicely. Okay, but out of respect for the religion and what had happened to them during their refugee years, you kind of try to show patience with that group of people when they first take over in 1996. But here we are, 1 chapter later, they're already, everything is pushed too far. They're burning movies and going to graves of famous singers and shooting bullets into the grave. Just this unnecessary widespread violence. Rashid is not bothered by this in chapter, I keep forgetting my chapters here, 38. Rashid is not bothered by this, and he goes, he's got to grow his beard. And he's got to pray 5 times a day. And, he likes to watch these executions that happen on TV that are not televised, that he has to go to the stadium, Ghazi Stadium or whatever, and get a Pepsi and watch the executions. And then his favorite thing to do, because he's a sadist, as we talked about yesterday, is go home and tell his wives, specifically Lila, about all the horrible things that he saw that day. He does use this opportunity to threaten Lila. Once again, he strongly intonates that uh, he strongly intimates or intimates. He strongly gets the point across that he is probably not Aziza's dad. So think about how Rashid already feels about his two wives. Think about how Rashid feels about women in general. Okay, and then to find out this little annoying girl, and his perspective, this annoying little girl is not his. Okay, and that Lila had bore this child with quote unquote the cripple. He has no love for Aziza. He does not have any affection for Aziza, and so what he can use is Aziza as a pawn to get Lila to do what he wants her to do, because with the Taliban in control, that gives Rashid more power to just get rid of Aziza, sell her off to the highest bidder, or go and tell the Taliban on Lila. And who they're going to believe. They're going to believe the Taliban, or they're going to believe Rashid, or they're going to believe Lila. I'm going to do like a Dora the Explorer thing where you kind of wait for the answer. That's right. They're going to believe Rashid. Good job. He impregnates her in chapter 38. This time it is Rashid's. So I'll spoil you the details, but this time it is Rashid's child. Lila is about 18, I think maybe getting ready to turn 19. One of the standout scenes in the entire book is the closing of chapter 38. Lila is on the floor of her bedroom. Mariam is not there. Aziza is not there. I believe Rashid is at work here because Rashid's store is still open for now. And she has a bicycle spoke, and she's laying on her back, and a bicycle spoke, it's the little thing on the bicycle wheels. It's a little metal, part of the metal of the bicycle wheel. So each bicycle spoke is probably, give or take, this long. So she has this bicycle spoke. She's on the bedroom floor. She knows she's pregnant with Rashid's child. And she has a decision that she makes. She has a decision to make here. Again, I won't go through the details with you, but she's battling on whether or not she wants to keep this child. There. I like the decision that Lila makes here, from my perspective. This baby that's growing inside of her, and I think this is kind of her thinking here, this baby that's growing inside of her, it wasn't Rashid. It would be so nice to take that spoke and jam it in Rashid, okay, his brain or his heart or whatever, but she's not going to do that to the baby. The baby couldn't do it. On top of the fact that she's also risking her own health by doing that, because performing this kind of procedure on your own, you're liable to bleed to death. So, I know it's tough to hear and tough to think about, but that's the truth there. So she's going to keep the baby. If you read 39, you already know where this is headed. It's now September 1997. That puts Mariam at 38, which would mean that Lila is 19, I believe, if my math checks out. And they basically, I don't want to walk you through the entire chapter, but essentially what happens is they have to go to a women's hospital because it's the Taliban control. So the men get the nice hospitals, and the women, and several of them, and because Kabul was a big city, women get one hospital. It's filthy, smoke in the waiting room, where people have defecated or urinated on the ground. That stuff hasn't necessarily been cleaned up yet. The nurses that are working there are very, very overwhelmed because you have all of the women and girls of of Kabul coming to this place. So they're all in this one hospital as opposed to spreading out. And look, man, they're understaffed. They don't have the medicine. Again, I don't want to walk you through it, but there's no numbing medication for Lila to take here. She's not going to get we didn't get the details, but likely when she had Aziza, she went to one of these other hospitals, almost certainly, and it was probably a very healthy and clean procedure. This is not that. This is not that. This is not a healthy and clean procedure. This is basically, you have a doctor there, and you got some nurses there, and you got a table, and it's go time. And she screams here at the end of the chapter as she's giving birth to gosh, I can't remember the kid's name. Zalmai, is that his name? The little boy. They're gonna have a little boy here. Spoiler. They're gonna have a little boy. So Rashid is getting his son. It is Rashid's son. It is his. Tariq was not involved with this in any way. And Mariam is the cheerleader through this. She's there for her kid, man. And when I say her kid, Lila, she's there, man. She's gonna help. She's gonna make sure that Aziza is taken care of, and she's gonna be there to support Lila as she gives birth to this baby. And that's what that chapter is about. And so now there are two children. You have Rashid, the nuclear family. You have Rashid, you have Mariam, you have Lila, you have Aziza, and you got Zalmai. And they are now a family of 5 in a Taliban-controlled state. The Taliban, again, super corrupt, and they're going to keep a lot of things for themselves, the Taliban. Okay, don't let their words fool you. They are just as corrupt as any other totalitarian dictatorship would be, because the Taliban are keeping a lot of that money and a lot of those things that they're destroying and a lot of those things that they're speaking out against. They keep a lot of that stuff for themselves while bleeding Afghanistan dry. Okay, and so you got 5 people in a family in Afghanistan, war-torn Afghanistan, run by a bunch of people that really didn't know what they were doing and that were corrupt. And that kind of sets the scene. That sets the stage for chapter 40, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. I think tomorrow we're going to talk about 40. 40 is kind of a big one. And then that way on Monday we can talk about, well, 41 is kind of a big one too. Maybe I should talk to you about both. See how quick 42 is. Yeah, 40, 41, and 42 are all kind of lengthy. Yikes. Okay, so we got some big stuff going on. I will say, man, we got another twist coming up, by the way. If that pregnancy wasn't a twist, we got another twist coming up as well. For those of you that have kind of read ahead a little bit, some interesting stuff that occurs here. Yeah. So we'll talk about at least chapter 40 tomorrow, and we'll kind of see how we do. I know these videos tend to have gotten longer, but the book is so good and so dense at this point, it's really worth talking about. So I hope you guys are getting something out of this. If nothing else, maybe it's good to at least hear from a person outside of your house once a day. So that person can be me. So send me your answers and let me know what you guys think. Like, rate, review, and subscribe. And by that I mean if you want to comment on the YouTube comments, or if you want to send me an email, or even send me the old Remind. Remind is still working, believe it or not. You can do that as well. So, hope you guys are enjoying it. Interesting stuff coming up. Hope you have a nice day, and then tomorrow's Friday, and then it's the weekend. So, I don't know about you, but as I've said before, I'm looking forward to it. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.